Hey everybody, my name is Anthony,
And I'm Chris.
and this is Red, White, and Blue Life. So, last week's episode, we talked about Afghanistan.
Yep.
Yeah, I think we got like 27 views. So, thanks for you 27 viewers.
Yeah. Or the 3 that watched it 7 times.
7 times, which might have been me, but we're not gonna talk about that. So this week we wanted to talk mostly about abortion because of what's going on in Texas and kind of the whole deal with that. What do you think?
Yeah. For me, I mean, I'll be upfront. I'm pro-choice. But for me, I'm going to be more focusing on the procedural aspect of the law and the issues that causes.
Definitely. And I kind of am interested in how it works and how it's not enforced by any kind of government agency at all. It kind of creates a vigilante system, if you will, talking more about how the private citizens are the ones who are going to be enforcing it.
Yeah.
But anyways.
So just in case, real quick, if you do happen to live under a rock and you do happen to get some internet and you're listening to this, but you haven't heard about the news, Texas is saying that anything after 6 weeks, certain exemptions, but is a no-go.
Well, the 6 weeks, it's not really 6 weeks. It's when a fetal heartbeat can be determined.
I thought it was 6 weeks after the last menstrual cycle, beginning of the last menstrual cycle.
It is when the first heartbeat can be picked up on a Doppler.
So even if it's at 7 weeks?
Whenever the first heartbeat can be picked up. So, for most people, that is about 6 weeks, is what they say. There is some argument that doctors are saying that the 6-week mark isn't really a heartbeat, though.
I saw one article that referenced that. They said it can be some interference with the machine. It could be like other things as well. But I heard like definitely by 10 weeks, your heart's formed. You have all your vessels and stuff. Then at 10 weeks, but I heard 6, somewhere up in the air about it.
Yeah, that's kind of odd to me. I mean, I feel like if you have cardiac muscle and it's moving, that's a heartbeat.
Well, what about PEA? Because the baby's heart's different in the womb. It doesn't have the 4 chambers like we do.
Right.
So I'm not 100% sure on that.
But, I mean, it's not saying that you have to have a fully developed heart with a heartbeat. It's saying a detectable heartbeat, a detectable pulse in the cardiac muscle.
Okay. And for you that don't know, PEA is pulseless electrical activity. So you can have the heart
moving, but it's not moving blood.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the biggest line that's drawn in this new law. The second one is that the civilians enforce the law. The law itself states, notwithstanding section 171.005 or any other law, the requirements of this subchapter shall be enforced exclusively through the private civil actions described in section 17.208. It also specifically says that the government does not enforce the law. It cannot be enforced, and there there's no threat by the state, political subdivision, or district or county attorney, or executive or administrative officer of an employee of the state or a political subdivision against any person.
So is this their way of saying we're not overturning Roe versus Wade?
No, it's absolutely not.
That's exactly what it's saying.
No.
They're saying that we're not.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So they're not overturning Roe versus Wade because the state doesn't regulate any of it.
Right. So they said, we're counting on you to do our will, to do our bidding.
Right.
So that's where I have the problem, is that vigilante justice. Like, technically, we're not saying you can't do it. Your fellow countrymen aren't.
Right. And the weird part is technically abortion, even there, isn't illegal. Like, you're not going to get any kind of...
Well, the person getting it won't get in trouble. It's the provider.
Nobody technically gets in trouble.
No.
Nobody gets a
misdemeanor. You get a monetary fine.
Yeah, you get a monetary fine, but it's not technically illegal per se.
No.
Which is kind of odd. But, I mean, that's That's the way they've worded it and the way they've
They're
put it
trying
through.
to disincentivize it getting done.
For sure. And they can sue anybody involved in the abortion, basically. Even if you are helping people get there. I think it was Lyft that came out and said that if any of the Lyft drivers get sued,
they'll cover it.
they're going to
Yeah.
pay for the
That's
$10,000
huge.
fine associated.
Which also kind of like ask the question is, where do you draw the line on who's abetting? How far does abetting go?
Right. Let's see. According to this, it says any person other than an officer or employee of the state or local government in the entity of the state can bring civil action. And the patients can't be sued, but anyone who performs or aids the abortion. It says that anyone who knowingly engages in conduct that aids or abets the performance or inducement of an abortion, including paying for or reimbursing the cost of an abortion through its insurance or otherwise, if the abortion is performed or induced in violation of this subchapter, regardless of whether the person knew or should have known that the abortion would be performed.
That's also saying that you can't claim ignorance of the law as well.
That's another subsection of this as well. You can't.
Even that
that's
last
not
one
a defense.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a problem in of itself. Is how many layers can you go back, or channels can you say that this is like abetting them or aiding them?
See, I don't know, because back to the Lyft thing, I've taken Ubers and Lyfts, and most of the time I don't personally like to talk to them.
No.
So like my end goal of where I'm going isn't a topic of discussion, and I feel like if you're going for an abortion, that's
definitely
not. What's up, Uber driver?
Yeah, you're not.
Come take me to
That'd be
get an
awkward.
abortion. Super. But the whole Lyft thing also does bring into a topic that I wanted to talk about as well. I really don't like when big businesses like that endorse political views. I feel like businesses should kind of stick to their business.
I mean, I would say it depends on what it is. If they believe something is an injustice, I would say it's their moral, obligation to do what they think's right.
But it's bad for business.
Yeah, but it's your business, and if
I
your
don't think
beliefs are
it's-
that strong,
Yeah. Okay.
then you can argue the point. If you had a business during the height of Nazi Germany, and you were hiding the Jews, it wouldn't be great for your business, but it's your ethical and moral obligation to do what's right.
Right.
I'm not saying this is equivalent to that, but under the same, it's analogous.
Right. I mean, but now Lyft is definitely going to lose all the business from pro-choice or pro-lifers.
I mean, until you're drunk at 2 a.m. and you need to
They're
get
going to
home.
go to Uber.
Well, maybe.
I mean,
I don't know how big it is out there.
yeah.
But
Anyway.
Another thing about bringing the suits against these people is that you don't have to be from Texas.
No.
If anyone from any other state can bring charges against them.
Yes. And it can be brought up any amount of times.
No.
It can only be paid out once,
Yes, yeah.
but an unlimited amount of people can sue the doctor, and the doctor is still responsible for all of those legal bills.
Yes. And in one of the articles or chapters, it also says that they cannot get their fees covered either way. Even if they win, even if the doctor wins, they cannot get their lawyer fees covered.
I didn't see that
Yep.
part. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And the fine for it, for those of you that don't know, is $10,000. So
Or
if you
no
do,
less than $10,000.
no less than, yes. So if you do bring up a case and you win, you get paid $10,000 plus any legal fees. You're awarded the legal fees
Yeah.
as well, unless you're a doctor.
So that, I think, sets some bad precedents. Obviously, these rights, I believe, are being infringed. But I think it also sets a bad precedence for other issues as well. What's to stop other states from infringing on rights, but not technically saying they're infringing on them, but relying on your other countrymen to do law enforcement's job or investigatorial
I feel
jobs?
like calling abortion a right is also kind of riding an interesting line as well. Because, I mean, if you're saying that humans have rights, then technically the baby would have certain rights at some point. If you say it's a baby,
Well, I think right now we're wishy-washy on sometimes it is a baby, sometimes it isn't a baby.
right? Someone brought up a point to me. I was talking about this with a buddy at work the other day, and they said if you want to bring up abortion to somebody who says that abortion is right and should be a right, ask them if it's okay to kill all of the puppies in a pregnant mom dog.
Listen,
I mean, I personally don't know if that's a good relationship to form, but
I mean, how early are we talking?
is that a question? Though? Is the thing?
I mean, I believe it's what you can live with, and
For sure.
two, when do you justify it being just a couple cells to having consciousness or
Well, and then the consciousness brings in a whole different argument too, because once you draw a line in utero, you also draw a secondary line for people outside of the womb, for adults. So if you're saying that consciousness is the line where they can, then you're also you're drawing a line on the other side, saying that like if you know grandpa's in a coma, you just have the right to take him, just kill him.
Well, I think we do have that right now.
You don't.
Yeah.
No.
There's euthanasia. There's euthanasia people that are fully conscious. There's also people that are dependent on machines to live that the next of kin or who's their medical power of attorney can choose not to continue care.
Right, but mostly you want to follow the person's wishes. That goes to... I mean, we work in the medical field, so we see the ugliness of that line
that
all
last
the time.
second change of heart.
But there is the documentation that goes with what the person's wishes are.
Ideally in the perfect world.
Ideally. But the big issue is that once you draw a line for the pregnancy, you also draw a line on the outside, and that's where a lot of pro life arguments are based out of.
Well, I can see how the pro life, they have an easy line to draw. Starts at conception.
100%.
I get it.
Yeah.
When you're on the other side and you're saying it starts here, say what week 6, but what week 5 and 6 days doesn't count.
Right.
That's
it gets a little sticky.
So that's why I'm saying it's what you can live with. If you do believe in a higher power, when your card gets pulled and you got to go up there and you're gonna have to answer for it. So it's what you can live with. But for me, it's just all the laws that are going along with it. I think it's just a crazy infringement of rights, and I think it's going to have far more reaching repercussions than they realize just for this one. So
the next part of the law.
go ahead.
Sorry, the next part of the law says that serial plaintiffs are protected, so you can just continue to sue and win.
And there's going to be those people.
Oh, for sure.
So not do only people have like the stress of having to go through this.
Right.
They're going to have to now hopefully try and find a provider.
Right.
And the provider's going to have their own issues going on now. So, I mean, what kind of care? It's going to be one more thing.
But one thing that they did think of that I didn't think of is you're not allowed to go rape somebody and then have them get an abortion and then sue.
Yeah, they definitely had some forethought in that.
Which I personally didn't even go that route in my brain, probably because I'm not a psycho. No. But
I mean, at least they kind of thought ahead on that. I can't imagine that trauma.
No, fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Did you see Texas said that they're supporting this law, they want to back it completely, and what they're going to do is try to keep... They're basically going to do everything they can to keep rapists off the street. And then
yeah.
And then Jen Paskey was like, well, if you find a way to eliminate all rapists, let us know. Cause
they've been sitting on that for a while or what? I don't know if you're going to talk about it, but do you have about the burden of proof?
That's actually the next part of the law. The burden of proving the abortion was intended to be lawful on the burden of proving the abortion was intended to be lawful is on the defendant,
which is antithetical to our justice system.
It is innocent until proven guilty, but this is guilty until proven innocent.
Yeah. Our whole justice system is ideally based around you're innocent until proven guilty. That's why all those disclaimers on cops, those police shows, it may show them on cops, but technically, until they have their day in court, they're technically innocent.
Yes.
However, now it's on the defendant to prove their innocence.
Right.
To prove they didn't do something.
Right. But I mean, that issue came up with the whole Me Too movement too. There's a lot of people who...
Oh, guilty by by social media and stuff like that, you mean?
Where where a lot of people were saying that, like, rape is going to come up a lot in this. Rape is wrong. I hate rape. Don't fucking rape people.
Yeah. I'm pro-choice, but anti-rape.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely anti-rape. But that issue came up when people were talking about, like, if somebody says, you raped me, how do you handle that situation? Because if this dude is actually a fucking rapist, you don't want him just chilling, doing, not getting any repercussions for it.
Right.
But you also don't want innocent people, like if you piss your neighbor off and your neighbor's like, hey, this guy raped me. It's really hard to prove rape in the first place in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
Unless there's, severe damage done or if there's bodily fluids left or any of that kind of thing. It's just kind of hard to...
I mean, it's also hard. A lot of people have to come forward. A lot of people don't want to come forward. So there's definitely a lot of obstacles regarding that. So that's... I don't think, you can exclude that the rape situation, they can not charge them, or they can't bring the charges up against them. But what are the odds that they're actually going to, one, be found guilty of that crime in the first place? So
Right. Well, but... a lot of people will get arrested. I mean, I'm sure the bail on a rapist isn't super low. So if you do get
never
arrested,
have to worry about it.
I don't know. Anyways, on the rapist thing, the next part of the law says a rapist can't sue, but someone else can sue a provider over an abortion given because of rape. So the exact word from the law says, notwithstanding any other law, a civil action under this section may not be brought by a person who impregnated the abortion patient through an act of rape, sexual assault, or incest, or any other prohibited sections. But, on the other hand, if you have an abortion after 6 weeks,
you can't
because of a rape, the doctor who performs it can still get sued by somebody other than the rapist. I don't really like that.
No. Overall, here's the thing.
There's a lot of
What were they thinking?
I don't know. There's a lot of really touchy, borderline shitty decisions made in this law.
You want people to come out in masses and vote blue? This is not going to rile up the people who they think it's going to rile up.
It's going to rile up a lot of people.
When's Abbott, Governor Abbott, up for re-election? Is it next year? I think it's next year.
I think so.
I don't think it's going to go well for him.
I don't know. Probably not. But, I mean, there's a lot of people who are, diehard single voter issue.
That's true. Yeah, but it's
that might support him as well.
Yeah, but I think it's got to be low single digits for abortion single voter.
Yeah, true.
That is not. You cannot rely on 3% of a vote to carry you.
Not at all. So the law also seeks to limit providers from using Roe v. Wade as a defense. That goes back to mostly because of the fact that it's not enforced by the state or any public official. It's just the civilians that are enforcing.
And is it just providers? What happens if it's an illegal abortion, like a basement abortion?
I'm pretty sure there's other laws against that.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
It's probably frowned upon.
Get in the back of my van. Let's take care of this with a coat hanger. Which is unfortunately the shitty thing that fucking happened back in the day. I don't know if they would still.
I mean, people are still going to get it.
Yeah.
You're not going to not get one.
No.
Because of the law. If people follow the laws, there'd be no murders, no drunk drivers. There wouldn't be no crime.
Right. But the thing about it is making it illegal or making it like this isn't going to prevent all of them, but it's going to prevent a lot of them because you have to be in a real hard spot to choose the risk of dying yourself over the risk of
no, it's not
a baby.
Well, no, it's going to be, can I find a provider?
What do you mean?
That's going to take the risk to do it. You know what I mean? Are you going to go out of state and get it done?
Yeah, probably.
Or, because in there, I think it's going to be a choice of availability.
Right.
Do you want to take on that risk as a provider?
So that brings me a question.
Malpractice insurance wouldn't cover it. They have a different kind of insurance that will cover that?
I don't know. But if you do leave the state, oh no, because the woman's not responsible. I was going to say if you do leave the state to get the abortion and you come back, can you get sued? But no. Because the woman
doesn't get it anyway.
No. Okay, so let's see if there's anything else big. Nope. That pretty much wraps up the big important parts of the law. So that brings us to the next section where we kind of want to talk about just abortion in general and the occurrence of the reasoning behind it and why people get it and kind of what goes along with that. This is where I start to have personal issues with abortion in general because I don't think abortion should be illegal outright. There are certain times that you should be able to get one, and I do believe it's a personal decision made by a woman, but I don't there definitely should be a line on how deep into the pregnancy you should get it or the reasoning.
So you say like 4 years post-term.
4 years post-term is too long. Too long. You can't push a return to sender button on something that's already been.
Okay. Right. That's definitely out. That's
100% out. So, annual abortion statistics. Overall, the United States is down on the number of abortions, especially from like 2005 to 2008. We were upwards of 1.2 million. The most recent statistic I can find is 2018. We're down to the 800,000. So,
what do you think it's going to be here in the last year or two with everyone still living with their parents in the basement and stuff?
I want to say this.
Because homeownership's like low and unemployment, everyone's moving back in. Maybe go up because they have nowhere else to go.
I think so.
Dang, I thought we'd go down.
I mean, not many people really want to like live with their parents and then have a baby.
No,
it's not really an ideal thing. It happens, but it's not an ideal thing. So, who has abortions? Unmarried women account for 85% of abortions. So, this is a rough topic, man. Mm-hmm. But this comes back to, I don't know if you guys watch our TikToks or anything like that. This, to me, comes back to my base argument with abortion is that if you're not ready to have a kid, I feel like it's up the responsibility of the adult to protect themselves and make a responsible decision to prevent that outcome from happening. As long as we've been around, if you stick
about the dick switch?
What?
The dick switch.
The dick switch is a good one. Go check out our first episode to figure out what the dick switch is, or do a Google search. Can you Google? What happens when you Google dick?
Definitely don't Google it at work. We are not responsible
for
what you Google at work.
But I think it comes back to you need to protect yourself, just like with every decision that's made as an adult. If you're not ready to have a kid, you need to take the steps to prevent that from happening. If you put your dick inside of a vagina or you let someone put their dick inside your vagina, you should be prepared for the repercussions of those actions. In consensual cases, I'll put that disclaimer out there, but there's other ways to do it. There's condoms, there's oral contraceptives, there's even female condoms. I don't know how the fuck those work.
Never seen one.
I've never seen one either, but apparently they're out there.
Which is a whole nother issue.
They're more expensive.
I
couldn't
tell you.
I researched the contraceptive pricing because I really think that it needs to be more available and there needs to be more education about it. And one of the facts, what?
I mean, more available. You can get them everywhere.
I know.
Circle K,
Right. I mean, if you go to Planned Parenthood, they give them out for free.
$3.
Free 99.
No excuse.
I think some schools even give them out.
My school wasn't that cool.
No. Anyways, so that's my big argument on it. Is as an adult, you just need to be responsible.
Now, what about just instead of that, you just Plan B it every time?
That's an option too.
So you're not you're not counting at conception then.
No, and I also said that abortion is okay at the beginning for me, essentially.
Oh,
but I don't think that should be the main
6
topic.
6 days and 23 hours.
Right. I just don't think that should be the main topic, though.
No, I mean this other stuff goes along with it, but I mean, I just to draw the line.
Right. I think the topic should be preventing the abortion from even needing to occur in the first place. Use your contraceptives. Practice safe sex. If you
what do you think is significant about the 83% of single women, or 85% of single women? Why do you think it's?
Why is that?
Why do you think that's such a high?
To me, that points to people who are just fucking on Tinder dates and getting pregnant. Not all of them. Not all the 85%, but a lot of them. You know, one night stands or short term relationships. You've been with the person for 3 weeks and you guys decide to fuck and then you're pregnant. Like, no. I'm not saying it's wrong to have sex out of wedlock. I don't care. It's 2021. Fuck who you want. But be responsible about it. Take your birth control as prescribed. You know, you're supposed to take it at a certain time every day. Take it at that time. Use condoms. Use the pull-out method. Whatever effective way you want to do it. But prevent that from...
It's an oxymoron.
What?
Effective pull-out method.
It's like 80% effective.
Yeah.
So if you want to take a 20% risk, you know, raw it out.
You got to risk it to get the biscuit.
No. Don't take the risk if you can't
You're not wrong.
follow through.
You're not wrong.
I don't know. So a lot of people who have abortions are unmarried. And that goes to the most common age for abortion is between 20 and 30. Like 60% of abortions fall in that age group. A lot of people party in their 20s.
30s are the new 20s. Way more financially independent.
True. You're not living at your parents' house.
No.
Some people, but most people aren't living at your parents' house in their 30s. And then we go into the reasoning why abortions occur. Most of the information on this is kind of hard to find because as a consensus, most docs don't ask why the abortion is occurring. They just do it.
Yeah, I think they just make sure are you being forced?
Are you being forced?
Yeah, like, or are you here on your own free will? I think it's
right.
all they really care about.
Right. But as far as the percentages go, less than 0.5% of abortions are victims of rape.
That makes sense.
Okay. 3% are for fetal health problems, and 4% are for physical health problems with the mom.
So is that 7 rounded up to 8%?
Yeah, 8% have
valid or medically valid
reasons. The rest of them, most of the time, it says, 4% they say it would interfere with their education or career. 7% they're not mature enough to raise a child. 8% they don't want to be a single mother. 19% they're done having children and it was an accident later on in life.
If you're a minor, do you need your parents' consent?
That depends on the state. Some states you do need parent consent. Other states you don't.
So you need your parents' consent to see, but you can't raise your own kid.
What do you mean? Like even at work, if anyone above the age of 16 comes in pregnant, they are the adult in their case.
Right. But no, what I'm saying is they can have a kid at 16 or say 15. But if they want to get a procedure done, they have to ask their parent. But if they can have the kid and then they are the parent and they can make whatever medical decisions they want.
Yeah.
So if they bring their kid in with the grandma who's the 15-year-old's mom, can she make her own medical choices at that point?
I don't know.
It's interesting.
It is interesting. So, but those facts that we just talked about came from a 2004 study done by Guttmacher Institute. It's an anonymous survey, so a lot of people, that might not be the most reliable information. But the state of Florida actually records every single reason anyone has an abortion.
Is it pretty close?
It is pretty close. So 0.01% of abortions result from an incestuous relationship. A lot of people say rape, incest. Those should be reasons why abortion is legal. 0.01% of those result from incest. 0.14% of the abortions were from a rape victim. So even further than 0.5%, 0.14%. 0.27% of the abortions were because of the mom's life being endangered by the pregnancy, and 1% was because of a serious fetal abnormality. The rest of them were...
What's the number one reason?
Number one reason is no elective reason.
Okay. What's the second most?
Second most, the woman aborted for socio or economic reasons, and that's 20%.
Oh.
So... 20% people say they can't afford it.
I mean,
that low 2% at the beginning have medical reasons for the abortion, and the rest of them are kind of just...
So I can understand if you're on the say right side pro-life saying, I feel like they're saying we don't, if it's only, what was that, 3% total, that's going to knock out the majority of the abortion
What's
cases.
3% of 820,000?
Dude,
it's fucking small. Is the point.
Nerd's not a mathematician.
The weird part is how the argument from pro-choice people has evolved over time. At first, even they said that abortion should be safe, legal, and rare.
Yeah.
Now, it's like you're taking away a complete right.
Well, they in essence are.
But abortion should be safe, legal, and rare.
Okay. Should it be protected as a right? What's your argument?
In those safe, legal, and rare cases, yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess rare.
But it shouldn't be used as a form of birth control.
I mean, I concur. But are you saying it's rare for a person to get it or society?
No, it's fucking rare for someone to be an incest person, like to be a victim of incest and have an abortion. That's acceptable. It's rare for a woman who's been raped to have an abortion, and that's acceptable. And it's rare for the mom's life to be in danger, and that's acceptable.
We're saying it's not acceptable for people to do it for social or economic reasons? If they feel like they can't afford a kid or give it a lifestyle that they think it deserves?
So you kill it?
I mean, do you think it's a baby?
I mean, it is a baby.
Well,
no, it's 100% a human.
At what point?
At the moment of conception, it's a human. It's got the full DNA buildup.
It's more of like a fish. It has a tail. How many people have tails? It is, and this goes to say like where the divide goes. You know what I'm saying? That's someone's view, and that's your opinion that it's a person at that age.
Well, there's no. It is.
It is something.
No, it is. It has all of the building blocks of a human.
It has the potential. I'll give it. It has potential.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that one.
But it
has potential to be human.
Yeah.
But,
so I mean, that's what I'm saying. It depends on where you morally
stand.
Yeah. I mean, if you're at like when it's 2 cells, you're gonna say it's a human.
I mean,
when that first
as soon as the little spermy head hits the egg,
mitosis, when it splits, I forget. Is that what it is?
You try to pull it from nursing school knowledge there.
I forget. When the first cells divide, like you can't say that's a human.
I mean,
so what about when 2 cells turn into 4? Is it a human then?
Well, then we go into where the line is drawn.
That's what I'm saying. I think that's the main issue.
Right.
Like it's 6 weeks. I think all the other states have one where is it viable outside the womb?
Right. Viability though is pretty damn late. Viability is at like 28 weeks.
Yeah. And with modern medicine,
I don't know if you've seen a picture of a 28-week baby. It's a fucking baby. Mm-hmm. Full on. Tail's gone.
You got to have a strong stomach, my personal opinion, you gotta have a strong stomach too.
That's rough. That's rough. So this kind of brings into the next topic. So when are most abortions done in the pregnancy term? 40% of abortions are done before 6 weeks.
Not many.
That many,
Dang.
and that's according to the CDC.
Is that the biggest
That is the biggest chunk. 40%. So
how many more post term? No, okay. Still not okay. Okay, just checking.
not okay. So if 40% of them are already occurring before the 6 week mark, that leaves 60% outside.
Mm-hmm.
That
Still get done.
Mm-hmm. So 37.5% of them fall between 7 and 9 weeks. So still around that 2 month period.
Mm-hmm.
So you miss your first period, 4 weeks. 2 weeks later is when the line is drawn in Texas. But most of them, almost 80% of them fall before 9 weeks. I feel like 9 weeks is kind of an acceptable line to draw.
Yeah, but you're just making arbitrary lines.
But my arbitrary line is based on a responsible adult. By 9 weeks out, you've missed 2 periods.
Yeah.
Something's up.
I mean,
Figure that shit out.
yeah. I would say, like, yeah, you're irregular, but that's pretty irregular.
Yeah, I know. But, I mean, and then some people go into the arguments that certain birth controls take periods away completely.
Oh, yeah, it's true, too.
But when you take those birth controls, your doctor tells you should take a monthly pregnancy test.
Oh, they do?
Yes, they do.
Oh.
Why? Because it's not 100% effective.
Right.
So take your monthly pregnancy test. I mean, you can get them at a fucking dollar store.
I heard they're just as effective.
They are. They are just as effective. Except for like the super high-tech ones that can do it like 2 weeks before your missed period. They may not be that effective, but they're effective as any general pregnancy test goes. So, I don't know, man.
I mean, I think it's a super infringement. I can't believe it. I get why everyone's upset. Even if you're, I'm not a female.
No,
it doesn't really affect me.
No. Well, that's a topic for another day.
Well, another point I wanted to bring up was, let's say, it doesn't matter, but let's say like your girlfriend was having the abortion, but you didn't want to.
Right.
Like, then there's some ethical problems there.
There is ethical problems there.
I forgot I was going with this. That tangent. Well, I guess it wasn't that important. So
I guess not.
It was talking about... it was a super infringement. I get why they're mad. And if you're on the right, it's... like, I feel like our country is built on liberty.
Yeah.
Up until you just go against the Bible.
Well, I mean,
how many people that aren't like Christian under the umbrella of Christianity are...
But I mean, even in the Pledge of Allegiance, you say one nation under God, indivisible. You know what I mean? Like it's incorporated into the core beliefs of America. Doesn't mean you have to be Christian. I don't consider myself Christian. I really don't.
Right, but those aren't the people that are going out upholding signs. I wouldn't say are atheists.
No.
The people that stand outside the Planned Parenthood, I wouldn't say they're most likely atheists. If I had to guess.
Absolutely not.
So,
No.
I just think it's... I think it's kind of ironic that they're the ones telling people what they can't do, when I feel like it's not what this country's founded on.
No.
I mean, I understand if you believe that that's a human being, you want to protect life. I can understand that.
Yeah.
But it's not your call. It's my belief that it's not your call. That's their life. That's their decision, and they have to answer for it one day.
Yeah, but see, that's just where I have a problem. That's why my argument really goes down to just people being responsible adults, because I don't think... I do think that it's a human life, okay, and there's a certain point at which you're saying that your personal choice to not protect this human life is just because just because, right?
Yeah.
And you can just kill it because I don't care.
Mm.
But really, as a responsible adult, you should prevent that decision from even having to come up.
Right, but
I mean, I don't want to get into my personal sex life prior to marriage, but I successfully made it to marriage without having a child.
right.
You know how I did that?
Wrapped your pee-pee.
Wrapped my pee-pee. I will admit some of it was just fucking luck. But wrapped my pee-pee. That was the main one.
Right, but I think it's like also a systemic issue just in society. Like sex ed, I feel, is not up to snuff.
Up to snuff?
I'm bringing it back.
What the fuck does that even mean?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly where it came from, but it means it's not up to like our standards where it should be, that what we need for education.
No, yeah, we need to focus a lot more on education. I'd even be... It's kind of hard because, you know, we go into the rights of businesses and being able to sell their products at whatever price they want and, you know, the competitive of it. But I feel like condoms and contraceptives, whether that be birth control or whatever, like, should be available at least cost. Yeah. Pay for how much it costs to make the condom, which can't be fucking much.
It's the R&D that goes into it.
The R&D?
Research and development.
Okay. So pay for
You
that.
got all those testers.
I mean, they're already $1.
Are they $1?
Yeah. You can buy like a pack of Trojan condoms, like a 12-pack for like $10.
That doesn't sound right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not taking
I
your
mean,
word for it.
yeah, we have these fancy fucking technology in front of us. Let's figure out. Let's see exactly the average price of a condom. I'm going to go to, I don't like Google, but we'll see what Google says.
But while he's Googling that, I just think it's another thing that they're infringing on these rights. So, what if the Supreme Court, they chose not to see it, right?
They chose not to see it.
So, unless something crazy happens, they're never going to get that right back. Once the government takes it, they don't give it back very easily.
No.
So, like, now's the time. So you're showing me...
I'm showing you a pack of 12 condoms, of Trojan condoms.
Ultra thin with ultra
with premium
sensitivity.
lubricant.
$7.
$7. 58 cents a condom.
Yeah.
If you can't afford 58 cents...
Listen, I think it's just society today. Like, it's 2021. Who's wearing condoms anymore?
You gotta... That's the mindset that's leading to this entire argument.
No, you're not wrong.
Okay. Or just do the poop hole loophole.
There's that.
If you don't want a baby.
There's that. Yeah, I think that's the Southern Christian way, I believe. They're telling you keep your virginity that way as well.
I mean, I don't want to go like too much into specifics here, but there was a big Mormon population in my high school, and that's what they called it.
Yeah.
The poop hole loophole. Because they were still virgins.
It's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing.
Oh, God.
I don't know how God looks down on that, but
I'm assuming not well.
I think there was a whole city he made turn in assault about that, for that act.
For the poop hole loophole?
Yeah.
Who? God?
Sodom and Gomorrah. They turned the whole thing in assault.
Like I said, not Christian. I haven't read it. Don't know.
Well, I know a little bit about a little bit.
I do know a little bit.
But yeah, so they'll
bit
never, if they don't get it back here, they probably won't ever in the future.
Right.
So I definitely think it's time. Like, I understand why people are going out and trying to make something happen with the protests and stuff like that. No matter where you are, once they take the rights, you're not likely to get them back.
That's true.
What else you got on lineup?
Okay, let's see what else I got on here. Here's abortion. 12 weeks. Okay. Only 2 people in 2017 died because of an abortion. Average cost of abortion is $508. That's pretty important.
You get a lot of condoms for that.
You can get a fuck ton of condoms for that.
Like,
don't even try to do the math. You can get a lot of condoms for that.
Yeah.
Okay. Also, there's a bunch of places that give them out for free. Like we already talked about.
Yeah. I would argue the cost is not the prohibiting factor in this.
The prohibiting factor. It's the mentality of people just not giving a fuck.
Yeah.
Just Be responsible, man.
Yeah, I mean, accidents happen. What about accidents?
Safe, legal, and rare. Okay.
Wait, what?
You can have one accident.
Safe, legal, and rare. I got you.
Okay. Accidents do happen.
One accident every how often is your okay?
God damn it!
You come up with these arbitrary limits. I'm just kind of where you drawing them from.
I get that, but it's just like if you have an accident, you learn from your actions and don't make that fucking decision again. If you have the accident, you have the abortion, whatever you did that caused that accident to happen, fucking stop.
So you're saying use it as a learning experience?
Yeah, like you do with like you're supposed to do with everything in your life.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Make a mistake,
ideally.
change your actions, and move on from it. I don't know. I think it's crazy. Okay, so we're kind of hitting a long episode here. So the last thing I really wanted to hit on this topic was, so we've talked about Texas now, who has the most strict abortion laws. What about the other side of the spectrum? Who has the
Does anyone have post-term?
God damn, dude.
That's not a thing anywhere, huh?
I hope your wife doesn't watch this episode. His wife's pregnant right now, and he keeps asking about fucking post-term abortion. Okay, so like I said, let's talk about the other side of the spectrum. Who has the most lax abortion
California.
laws? Nope. New York.
I was not going to guess that.
It's New York.
How late they go?
Let's see.
Because
that's not the one. It is interesting.
Especially if the normal's nothing after the second trimester, right? Isn't the typical cutoff?
That's pretty late, but yeah.
I mean, it's technically the latest they go normally is the second trimester, right?
So this just goes to the mindset of certain people on the topic. The article name is U.S. states with best access. Anyways, I'm not going to say anything about that. We're just going to go into what New York says. New York says, I believe it's 24 weeks that you can have an abortion.
I thought that was... How many weeks is that?
6.
6 weeks.
No, 6 months.
6 months.
24 weeks is 24 weeks.
6 months is...
That's fucking out there.
Yeah.
And they accept it later if there's a risk to the mother's health.
What do they do normally if there's a risk? Emergency C-section and
well,
NICU
that was going to be my next question. Is viability is at 28 weeks. Mm-hmm. So is it still considered an abortion? Like, do they kill it at that point? Or do they take it out and, not kill it?
I don't know.
I would like to know that. But yes, the line in New York is 24 weeks. You don't want to know.
This is sad.
It is sad, dude. This is a sad topic. And that's the weird part, is how come at the beginning it's not sad, but then now it's sad?
Did you talk about 27 weeks?
Where's the line? When does it become sad?
I don't know.
The question can be asked both ways.
That's why I said it's whatever you can live with.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know.
You're the one that's got to spend the rest of your life
True.
dealing with it.
I'm sticking with the safe, legal, and rare, bro.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, that pretty much...
Oh, I got one more thing just real quick. To add on to SB 8, another Texas GOP lawmaker is attempting to make abortion punishable by the death penalty.
Wait.
So...
Who?
I'm glad you asked.
The doc or the mom?
I don't know. It's probably everyone involved, to be honest, with their line of
You
thinking.
killed the baby, so we're killing everybody?
Let's see. Filed
Good job,
Tuesday
Texas.
by State Representative Brian Slayton. So if you want to tell someone to go fuck themselves this week, that'd be the guy.
Yeah, I mean, by this point, you know my point.
Does not include exceptions for rape or incest.
Fuck that guy. Brian Slayton, you're an asshole. I don't even know you. I didn't even know your name before this episode, and you're a piece of shit.
It does exempt ectopic pregnancies that seriously threaten the life of the woman.
Oh yeah.
When reasonable alternative to save lives of both the mother and unborn child is unavailable.
Well, the thing about ectopic pregnancies is no one's surviving that situation.
And I mean, yeah, we catch it. Yeah, obviously too late, but then you also can have to cut out the fallopian tubes and everything.
Right.
So,
But I'm saying, like, that's his exception. That's what's okay, is
Yeah.
when both people are going to die.
he sounds like a real shitter.
He sounds like a real shitter. Sorry, Brian Slayton, but you do not get my vote. Good thing I don't live in Texas.
Yes. Yeah, so I just want to bring that one up too. Like, that's how far some of those guys are willing to go.
That's pretty crazy.
So
I'm not about
if
that.
you don't think Handmaid's Tale could happen here, it for sure can. Like, man, it is wild the things people will try to do to control their people.
On the far sides of the aisles.
Dude, it just, man. Anyway,
All right,
so
guys.
I want to leave you guys on that note. I hope your day brightens up after this show.
For sure. Hopefully you got a couple laughs out of it.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't do post-term, though. That's
Post-term is bad.
Yeah, yeah.
Post-term is bad. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, that's definitely frowned upon.
Both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's a bipartisan issue.
Bipartisan. Don't kill it when it's out.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's it. Next week, we are planning on talking about the COVID shot, especially because of the new mandate that Biden just put out there.
That's going to be an interesting one.
It's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, we're both medical professionals. I guess professionals kind of a iffy term to use. We both work in the medical field, and so we have interesting viewpoints on the whole vaccine debacle. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
We're going to be
so-
talking about if it should be mandatory or not, and the safety and effectiveness.
Yeah, so let us know what you guys think in the comments. Maybe tell us, where you draw your arbitrary line
For sure.
in the sand of what's okay and what's not, and why it is actually more important for me. I want to know why you think the way you do.
Yeah. If you like the video, go ahead and hit the like button. If you want to see the next one and stay up to date, hit the subscribe button. And what else can they do?
Have a good week. Stay safe.
Have a good week. Oh,
Wear your mask.
the TikTok. In the comments below, I'm going to send a link to the TikTok. And yeah, follow us on there for some daily updates.
Yep. Later, guys. Have a good
All
week.
right, thanks. See you later.